We just finished our workouts. Look who's here, little Missy. What's up, little Missy? Little Missy's here, y'all. Mr. Meaner Missy. That's who she is, Mr. Meaner Missy. And Storm Malicious over there taking a bite out of her toy instead of playing with the toy like she's supposed to. Come here. Yeah, you're supposed to be playing, not eating it. Yes. Yes. Look at that. Look at that Rottweiler, y'all. Oh, treat by. Hey, no playing. So, hey, Missy, don't be mean. So you see Missy trying to be alpha. Hey guys, no playing. No playing. So I have to stop my dogs from playing because if you've been following, this girl right here still has her issue with her ACL or whatever the dog equivalent of an ACL is. You can see how she's kind of favoring one leg over the other. So, and then she lays down. So we have to be very, very, very careful with how she plays. So part of the strategy for fixing her is basically limiting her activities where she's not able to just run and play and jump and spar with him like they normally do. And a part of that strategy is making sure he is, in fact, exercised because he eggs things on even to her own detriment. She's okay, Missy. She's eating plastic when she's not supposed to be. Why are you eating the plastic? You don't need to eat the plastic. It's to play with, not to eat, not to ingest. She's like, okay, Daddy, whatever you say. So part of her treatment plan right now, until she has surgery, is limit her activities. And he's the biggest reason why she will do too much, to so to speak, because he loves to play. He loves nothing more than just have a good sparring session with my Rottweiler. And they'll run, they jump, they hit each other really, really hard. And unfortunately, she's has that knee issue. FSA, what's going on? No problem, man. I actually missed last week. I had so much work around the house, and I just couldn't get around to streaming live. And I haven't even done any shorts in a while either, but it's okay. We're still here. We're still showing how we're living. Because life is way different when you have these big dogs. So it's worth talking about whenever we can. So we have a lot of old episodes where we talk about the main issues. And here's the thing: I've noticed that when you have these dogs, there's a million things that you could talk about when it comes to raising your dogs. A million things, tips and tricks that you can talk about. And you can be very, very nuanced in your training. And if you have the time and energy, by all means, man, I say go all the way. Your dogs will love and appreciate any time you spend with them. Because again, their lifespan is so short. A day with your dog is like spending a whole week's vacation to them, because they love being with you. They love the time that you spend with them. So yeah, absolutely. But sometimes you got to start with the basics. You know what I mean? Hey, Javad Abdulave, I think that's how you say your name. Take care of your dogs and meet at next live, my guy. All right, FSA. Thanks for just stopping in on us. E-Money videos. Your dogs are so cute. Appreciate you, E-Money. SMC86. Beautiful dogs. Thank you so much. So this guy is panting because he just finished his workout. And I strategically... So, I gotta go stop them. So watch this. This is they're gonna do something I don't want them to do. Don't you join them. Don't you join running. Nope, Stormy. Rain, back over here. This is way better, guys. Way better than it used to be. Come here, Rain. See how, so the neighbor's dogs are running. And normally they would be running the fence line with them back and forth. But I'm trying to stop them because the running is fine. The exercise is great. Come back. She doesn't need the running with her leg the way it is. You see how she's kind of limping a little bit. He doesn't need to be doing that because they'll oftentimes go into a barking fit and it disturbs the neighbors, disturbs everybody. It's just early morning, people trying to sleep. So I don't really like that behavior. But him coming back, even though there was a stimulus to run back and forth, is a good sign. Now, I'd prefer him not to run off when I'm calling him at the beginning. So that's the next level of training. Do you know what I mean? But having him come back and not ignore, just ultimately not ignore me is a big win. Come here, boy. Let's see if we can mark that. Good job, buddy. So you always mark your behaviors that you enjoy, okay? Everything you want your dog to, everything that you want your dog to do, don't forget to reward that behavior, because that's how their brains work. It's literally that simple. Reward the good, and give them bad feedback whenever they're not doing the thing. And I'm not saying abuse your dog. I'm saying, withdrawing your love is enough of a negative for them sometimes. So if they're doing something that you don't like them to do, don't rub them. Be like, oh, stop it, stop it, stop it. And then you're giving them positive reinforcement. They don't understand the words, but they do understand the positive rubbing that they feel, because they love that, right? So you give them the positive. It's really basic. It's really like, I don't know how to say it, primitive kind of thinking, but this is how they work. This is how these dogs work. You give them love when they do the right thing. You withdraw the love when they're not. SMC, this is the kind of stream I want to see, not the same old crap that people are doing. SMC 86, I appreciate you, man. I try not to do all that other weird stuff. Just, I'm just talking about how to do it. How do you just live with these dogs, and how do you survive? Because if you don't figure that out, man, it could be some real problems in your house. Real problems. Unsubscribe me, says say to sit. Okay. Rain, sit. Good boy. I know. Oh, you heard that. Everybody heard that. Storm, come here. Sit. Good girl. Good girl. But don't get excited. Don't get excited, because we can't play. We can't play. Storm. She's feeling herself. I gotta calm her down. See, this is her natural thing. She will love. No. She loves to play, but she can't do it. You can't do it with your knee, baby. That's fine. Play with your toy. I mean, she's doing better, honestly, because I think it's healing on its own. But we still have to manage it. Still got to manage it, guys, for her own good. Thank goodness this guy has already got his exercise out for the day. He's already ran a mile. We can't do really much more than a mile because he's so heavy. You saw that leaf fell, buddy? Saw that branch fall? Yeah, and these big dogs, man, they're working dogs, so they don't mind the work, but they're not like distance running type dogs. So you got to be real careful on their joints and their paws and stuff like that. So just enough exercise where he's satisfied, and not so busy where he tears things up or plays too rough with the Rottweiler right now specifically. Candy Paws, Candy Thomas said hi. What's going on, Candy Paws? What's going on? Why one dog don't have tail? Solo facts 100%. Noble Raheem says, are you a breeder? No breeder. I'm just a regular old dude. Candy Paws says he's cute. Exactly. Dogs will run you if you let them. Exactly, Solo. Candy Paws, I have 2 dogs. Okay, what kind of dogs? Why is my dog so racist? Joe, dogs don't understand race. They only understand what you teach them. Are they chickens? That's what Richard said. I wish I had my dog because my dad moved out, and now I don't have my dog. It's expensive to get a dog or a cat. Yep, you got to be ready for them. Don't grab a dog until you're financially ready. You got the time to do it, the energy, and the desire to do it. Because if you don't have the desire to work your dogs, like especially get this big breed like this, these dogs are not like lump on the logs. Okay, you don't just buy a big Cane Corso, sit him on the couch, and watch TV. That's not how that works with these dogs. So make sure you have the time, energy, and the desire to handle a dog like this, because they can be trouble if you don't raise them the right way. I'm trying to get rid of these mushrooms. So far, the dogs haven't really been eating these mushrooms, but that can upset their stomach. So I always try to kick them over. And and I haven't done the yard too. So as soon as we get done with this live, I'm gonna mow the yard, get rid of a lot of these stupid mushrooms so the dogs don't get into them. But yeah. You turned Storm up. Yeah. DNA, what's going on? DNA Elite, what's going on? Peace to you. I tried my dog not to bark when people knock, come to the door, just sit by it. Yeah, Solo. I mean, that's a hard skill, right? Because one of the things with dogs, man, it's all about the stimulus, right? And how strong is that stimulus? And I'll tell you, every time people ring that doorbell, ding dong, that's probably one of the strongest stimulus that your dog can have. And sometimes you just got to be good with what you can get out of. I'm gonna sit down for a second, guys. I did my workout too, a little messy, but sometimes you just got to settle for what you can, what you can for the moment. And if you have time and you want to continue to work on them, definitely, if that's your goal, keep going for it. Keep working on it. Still use that reward. I guess reward discipline. I don't know if that's the right word. Uh, but either way, you know, you can practice. Like have somebody that lives there at the house uh, go outside and let them watch you. Watch them go outside. Let them ring the doorbell and and if I were you, I'm gonna tell you a secret. When you have multiple dogs like that, um, it's a lot harder sometimes to teach a skill because one dog gets off, the other one will follow, and then when you switch over to correct the other one, then the other one kicks up, and so they make you ineffective by bouncing around you. They outnumber you. So I would put one of them up, maybe outside or in the kennel somewhere, and then you work directly with one dog at a time. Have somebody hit that doorbell, and then you do the Caesar Milan, just, whatever noise that you make to correct your dog. Even if you have to kind of give them a little poke in the butt, on the side of the hip. You know what I mean? Not in the butt, but you know what I mean. Like poke them on the side of the butt. Yeah, you get what I'm saying. To get them to pipe down. You know what I'm saying? And then once they ring the doorbell and they don't say anything, then you reward them. You're like, yep, that's it. That's the behavior I want. You do it over and over and over and over. Eventually, they're gonna get the message that they're not supposed to be barking whenever the doorbell rings. Now, it takes time, it takes energy, and you may need some help. Maybe have somebody else in your house ring the doorbell until you can get it. But little skills like that you can build every single day. Whatever your dog don't like. My challenge has been the neighbor's dog. You saw how that whole interaction went, right? The neighbor's dog came out, they were ready to go. you know if you go back a couple of months ago, my dogs would have been going back and forth. They would have been, what they do is they run all the way over here and they get here and they start barking at the end, start digging holes, and they're tearing up my fence. So what you just saw was like 10 times better than what it was before. So, for me, it's an ongoing skill. And they revert back. The other thing too is they revert. Dogs don't ever like learn a skill and they have it for life. You have to continue to train those things. Like right now, having them sit there looking at the dogs but not going and interacting with them, that's a huge deal. It's a huge win. So you celebrate that stuff. So, good job, y'all. Good Stormy, good Rain, good buddy. That's a good dog. Good God. You give them that positive reinforcement as they're doing the behavior that's crucially important. Always do it while they're doing the behavior, not after or before, but while they're doing the behavior. Now, when he came back to me and I loved on him, what I like the fact is he's basically, if he comes back, he knows he's going to get some love. And that's what I want. So when I call you and you come here, hey, look, you get some love out of the deal. You get some pets, you get some positive reinforcement. So that plays in their mind, that gets into their psychology. So that's how, any problem that you have with these dogs, what it really boils down to it is training yourself first. Training yourself and then putting the time in and the effort. That's really what it boils down to, guys. The most difficult skill there is to teach your dog. If you have those two things in your arsenal, you can do it. You can do it. And every dog's gonna be different, right? So one dog will get it the first time, and one dog, man, is maybe hard headed. I'm telling you, you have some stubborn dogs out there. It will take them a while before they finally get that skill that you've been like working hard. But don't give up. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is to have these dogs, y'all. That's what it is to have a big Cane Corso like this. That's what it is. Uh, Let me get back to the comments, guys, because I went on a little. Hey, boy, you invaded my personal space. So if your dog is like this, like invading your space like this is what you can do. You can say, move, back, back. If that don't work, you can put your hand in their face. Back up. That's disrespectful. You don't take alpha and you, like, I'm sitting on like a rock right now. But the fact that he kind of invaded my space, you don't do that to alpha. That's a dog behavior. So if you notice you got one of them big dogs like that, and they keep invading your space without giving you, that's kind of a disrespectful thing. They wouldn't do that to Alpha in the wild. You kind of you push back a little bit, give him a little, say, look, hey, there's a boundary there, buddy. There's a boundary. And so now he backed off. And Connie Corsos are notorious. They will always challenge that boundary. They really want to make sure you Alpha. Tugra, what's going on? Brian, what's going on? Jennifer, they're both beautiful dogs. Thank you so much, Jennifer. Silex, yes, it is. Facts. I stopped through a couple times and sub, bro. Appreciate you, Solo. Is that yes, Jennifer? This is a Connie Corso username. Alani fan subscribe. Thank you so much for the subscription. Grab the camera for a Lamar Jackson edit. What does that mean? Dogs get distracted so easily. They do. They definitely do. Just bought a Presa Canario 2 days ago, and he's awesome. The mom is 145 pounds and dad is 140, and he's going to be a big boy. Yes, he is, Silex. That Presa Canario, that's one of them big dogs. It's like this guy right here, right? Maybe even bigger, depending on how big he gets or how big the parents are. So Solo said, I tried my dog not to bark when people knock. Oh yeah, we talked about that. But yeah, these big dogs, man, they make sure that you are in charge, and it can be a problem. So say you know this Rottweiler, for instance, she doesn't really like a lot of people outside of her family. She's kind of hasn't been completely socialized all of her life, so that's her only major flaw, is that we can't have a bunch of people that she doesn't know around her without introducing and all that stuff like that. But the thing about her is, once you let her know you don't want that behavior, the Rottweiler tends to want to say, okay, I get it, I'm down with it, I'm good. The Cane Corso, on the other hand, that big old thing is such a sweet dog, guys. Don't get me wrong, my Cane Corso is a sweetheart. But you know what he does? He wants to make sure the rules are the way they are. He's like, are you sure that's the rule? Because if not, I'm gonna go ahead and take your spot. He's going into the house. Sorry, y'all, my yard's a mess. That's my next job. He's going into the house right there. You got a doggy dog. We'll just watch Storm. But you know, the Cane Corso, he wants to make sure that's the rule. He will challenge you, and I don't mean like just like bite you automatically necessarily, but the little small stuff, like a second ago when he walked up to me and put his face in my face, saying, "Your personal space doesn't belong to you." You know, some people like, "Oh, that's sweet. Your dog loves you," and I'm like, "Yeah, it is sweet," until they get into their head that your space is their space, okay? And then whenever you say no, move out of the way, and they're not used to you setting boundaries, then they retaliate, and now you got a bite on your hand. Your dog bites you, or saying, because they're only enforcing the rules they think that are applying, right? They're only saying, hey, the rule is I get to take this space. This is not your space. You've already shown me throughout the years that you don't own your own space. You know what I'm saying? So you have to always remind the Cane Corso, same thing with the Presa Canario. You got to always let them know, listen, there are boundaries. And I'm not saying being mean. You didn't see me hit my dog. All you saw me is put my hand in his face and say, step back. I basically gave him guidelines. You are not allowed to just invade my space whenever you want to. That's not how this works. So, like I said, do I have to do that to the Rottweiler? Not really. Maybe at the beginning I did a lot of that, but she respects. She respects easily. Again, the Cane Corso will respect, but you have to remind them. And that's for the life of that dog. That's who he is. And then, I'm saying it varies. I mean, if somebody could jump on and say, my Cane Corso is so sweet, it doesn't do that at all. Okay, great. I'm so glad for you. But I'm going to let you know that breed is a very strong-headed breed. And for most people that have Cane Corsos or those big breed dogs, understand that is a necessity. You have to set boundaries. You have to set boundaries. Because they get very, very territorial. That's the thing with them. They think that everything is theirs by default until you tell them that it's not. That's what makes them a very nice protective breed. That's why everybody buys these things. Like, oh, I want protection around my property. Because they think that everything around them is theirs. And you're not allowed to come on my property unless you're invited. And even then, it may be like, maybe then you may not even survive that. So you have to let them know, yes, I'll let you guard, but it's not yours, it's mine. I'm letting you hang out on my property. I'm letting you live with us. I love you, but it doesn't mean that it's yours. There's a difference between loving your dog and letting your dog run over you. Do you know what I mean? Um, oh man, I'm getting behind the morning. This is divine timing. Yes, ABBS is it abs. Um, Connie Corso ran up on my dog outside. It was a bit too close for comfort. Probably could have handled it better. Yeah, so that's the thing, these sometimes people, that's why I always talk about these neighbors, man. I'm sorry if I'm showing you my dog's butt. I got big butt. You got a big butt, boy. Boy, you got a big butt. Yes, you do. So watch this. I'm gonna just put my hand in his face so he backs up just a little bit. Look at this. See, I'm pushing him away. Not disrespectful, not hurting him, but just saying I have boundaries. This is I'm alpha, you're not alpha. And now I give him some respect. I give him some love. Sorry, not respect. He gives me respect, but I'm giving him love, saying this is what I want. See how primitive it is? It's so like dealing with a 1-year-old. You know what I'm saying? It's real primitive, y'all. I tell him what I don't want, and I reward what I do. So I'm gonna stop rubbing him and see if he tries the challenge again. Right back at it, right? So same thing. Push him away. I don't like that behavior, but now that you stayed away, I'll encourage. Real basic, real, like, you know what I mean? So you have to do that with these dogs. I'm telling you, if you do not set boundaries with these kind of corsos, you are in a world of hurt. Your family's in danger, you're in danger. It's not a good deal. These are great, sweet dogs. Look how, I mean, sweet as pie. Sweetish pie. Look at it. Give me big boy. Give me your big boy. Give me your, he's my big boy. Sweetish pie. But only because I set boundaries, he's sweet as pie. Okay? Not because he's like that. It's because I set boundaries to make him this way. Got to put that work in them. But yeah, so yeah, I was talking about the ABBS. We were talking about the little, little dogs run up on your Cane Corso. Man, they love. See, what happens is these little dogs, they see these bigger dogs, and they want to challenge them. They feel like they're alpha, and they don't realize dogs don't see like size like we do. Like we see a big dog like this, and we're immediately afraid because we think about, like, I mean, a Cane Corso has what, the third most powerful bite force of any dog there is. That's enough to scare a human being. Dogs don't have that fear, right? They don't know that this Cane Corso can just bite the mess out of them and kill them with one bite. You know what I'm saying? They don't have that type of fear. So they'll try to challenge your Cane Corso. They'll try to challenge your Rottweiler. And I get the truth to be told. Sometimes you only can do what you can do in those situations because this dog is going to defend itself. If that little yapping dog bites your dog on the ankles down there, this guy is going to defend himself. So it's up to the other owner to look. If your dog is off leash, your little rat dog is out here, trying to challenge the Cane Corso. And listen, my dog's gonna be on leash. So just know that my dog, whenever we leave the gate out there, I don't care which gate we leave out of, my dogs are gonna be on leash, okay? Because I'm not going to a lawsuit and somebody trying to sue me and take away my dog. That's not how this is going down. But you think that we live out here in the country? Look, we in the country, and you think it's okay for your little yapping dog to be free, and because we free Americans and we're out here doing our freedom thing, and your little dog comes challenge this Cane Corso, look, I'm telling you, you may have to face the consequences. I'm gonna do what I can. I'm gonna do everything I can, but it is what it is, okay? People need to realize that I'm always trying to educate my neighbors. Like I'll hit the Facebook, the neighbors Facebook, and I try to educate. Listen, we're safe. My Rottweiler, my Cane Corso, we are doing the do. We got our leashes on. We're exercising. We doing that. So when your little lap dog comes to the street to challenge our dog, I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna do what I can. So I'm gonna push him back just a little bit more. Give me a little bit more room, baby. A little bit more space. Push him away. Okay, he stays away. Good job. Good boy. Good boy. But and ABS, don't be hard on yourself. The main thing is make sure you got your stuff straight, right? Make sure your dog is on leash. Because, I don't know what the laws is where you are, but a lot of times, if your dog's not on leash or don't have a collar, whatever, with the leash, you could be liable, okay? So make sure you straight first. And then the rest of it, you do your best. But I mean, my dog's not gonna sit here and let another dog bite him. Okay, he's in my space again. So back away, move, move, stay up. So I'm doing the hand in the face thing because he doesn't like that. If I need to put my hand on his nose to push him back, I will. It's like a love boundary thing. You love them with boundaries. Um, Bro, I'm from India, so life with Ruku says I'm in there. There is night, bro. No, no, no. It's daytime. It's the morning for us. It's Aya said hi. What's going on? What if they just want to kiss sometimes, and no bounds? So ABBS. So my thing is this. It's that's okay whenever they're being sweet, but you need to start off with having boundaries first. Start off teaching your dog to respect your boundaries. That's more important than just them getting that kiss right off the bat, because that can come later once they understand what's good and what's not good, and they know that they see you as alpha and you got all those things in place. That's okay, but a lot of time people will skip over that. They're so happy that their dog loves them that they don't understand that you have to set the boundaries first. Like everybody likes their dog to be extremely happy when you come home, because all day we deal with humans that are just terrible and mean and all the issues. He's in a guarding position. You see he's sitting on my foot and he's turned away from me, right? That's a guarding position. So if anyone were to come up on us, he would take care of it, right? Anywhere, any direction where the gate's over here, the gate's over there, he's guarding it. Now he gives up. But that's a guard. So you got to understand that position, because if you have people, like if you have guests coming to the house or whatever, or anybody coming to the backyard and your dog is in that position like that, then you need to get up and get in front of him. Because if you say, come on in, and this dog is in a guarding position like that, and they come to that gate, that dog would have went, whoa, straight at him. And that your company would have been like, oh, hold on, get your dog, and you're like, oh, okay, I thought the dog was going to be sweet. Your dog was in a guarding position. It was in attack mode. And you talking about, come on in, everybody, come to the gate, this direction. No. Get up off the stool, walk in front of them, let them know you don't need to guard me in this time. That I'm inviting this guy to come in to do some work or whatever, friends that are coming by, family, whatever. So you gotta watch their subtle signs of what they're doing. Even though she's kind of like playing with her toy, they're kind of in a partial guarding position. Their back is to me, which means that they're looking for anybody that's gonna come that direction to run up on us. Very basic stuff, man. These dogs are really, really basic. But yeah, ABBS, definitely, take your time. Make sure your dog understands the rules before you allow that type of behavior. And it's okay. Like I don't let him get on the couch. We made that mistake too, because it's like, oh, he's just a dog. He likes to relax like we do. We want to, then he starts claiming the couch. And that means that nobody else can sit on the couch that he hasn't checked off on his guest list, okay? So if you're not on the guest list, he will guard the couch. So we had to take that away from him. Nope, sorry, buddy. It was great. You were cool until you weren't. Until you decided that someone else can't sit here unless that's the thing. Maybe your dog is okay with that. Maybe your dog, when you say get up, it just moves out of the way, or let somebody else sit down, or your family sit down, or whatever. If that's how you have it, cool, thumbs up. But a Cane Corso, more often than not, if they've claimed a spot that's theirs, if you're not higher on their totem pole, if you're not one of the alphas, they're not going to be like, sure, you can just take it right away from me. It's okay. No, because they're like, you're low on the totem pole. You're not my boss. You can't take this toy. You can't take this seat. You can't take this area. So it's better to start off with boundaries. It's better to say, look, nope, this is not your area. Even though it would have been fine, even though with you and your dog would have been, sweet and watching TV, but it's the message that you send your dog when in certain situations. Now, if you live alone, you don't expect guests to come over, fine, whatever. You say my circumstances are different, whatever. But more often than not, these people grab these big old dogs and they have all these behaviors that you're unaware of, and then they conflict with everyone else in your house or guests that come over to your house. You know what I mean? So All I'm saying is little subtle things like that. I'm not a dog trainer, guys. I'm not saying this because I have some specialized training. I'm just saying this because one, experience having these dogs for almost 5 years and going on 3 years by this fall, and that's what I've noticed. You know, this is what I've noticed. They're wonderful dogs to have, but there are some huge things that you gotta watch out for. Huge things, man. I'm telling you, huge things that could be detrimental to you or your dog or your family members. So, so Brian told us what kind do you have? So it's Connie Corso and Rottweiler, and then the little mutt sitting over there. You can barely see her. Yep, facts. Gotta always correct them. Absolutely. Schlockshitter, whatever. Some people have y'all have these names, y'all. Malika, I can't. I love her too much. Oh, Malika, come on now. Come on now. You gotta treat your dog right. If you don't raise them right, man, you're creating monsters. Sir Adam Skinowski, they are both overweight. Sir Adam Skinowski, he is not overweight. This guy is about 100 and I think it's about 130 pounds, but he's got nice. When you look at him from behind, his hips. Now you can argue that she's overweight. Yeah, I agree with her. She could probably go down to about 100 pounds even. She's about 115, between 115 and 120. She's about 10, 15 pounds overweight. But a lot of that is she's actually a lot furrier than she looks. Um, and she's actually a lot. We've actually slimmed her down from what she was before, only just to help out with her hips and stuff like that. But this guy is perfect weight. He was at the vet recently. He had some ulcerations on his lip. If you guys may remember, 2 weeks ago, we took him in because we got scared. We saw some ulcerations on the upper left lower lip, and turns out it was just him. He had bit his lip, and it was basically wasn't healing, so he got a round of antibiotics. But while he was there, he got his shots that he needed. He was about to be due for his shot, so they gave it to him while he's there, and also they gave him antibiotics, and it's completely healed up well. But his weight is absolutely perfect. The veterinarian was like, "Good job." She, on the other hand, yeah, a little bit. How strong is their bite force compared to a German Shepherd? So his bite force is gonna be almost twice the size of a German Shepherd. I mean, we're talking about what is it, 500 psi, and German Shepherds, what, I don't know, way farther down. This guy will outbite a German Shepherd all day. I think the Rottweiler may have a more powerful bite than the German Shepherd, maybe close to the same too. You have to look it up. I'm not really good with the statistics, but he's like, there's only like one or two other dogs that have a higher bite force than Cane Corso does. Um, Thickums. Brian told us he's beautiful. Girls got issues, says they are not overweight. They are very healthy looking. Thank you, girls. That's exactly right. He's beautiful. The slobber, yeah, ABBS. Is it abs or ABBS? How you say names? Yeah, the slobber is real with the Cane Corso. Killer dog. Oh. Darwin's a star. Ryan Toll says he's thirsty. You know what? It's funny because he's got access to water right over there. He has a water fountain that they can step on. But and he probably went inside earlier to get water too. So they got water tanks in there, and a doggy door, so they go inside and drink. But he's like that because he's already had his workout for the day to manage his behaviors and all that good stuff. So yeah, Wanda Wesson, yeah, these guys have access to water 24/7. They are never without water. Yeah, that's the thing. Your dog has to always have these big dogs. That's the other thing. You got to always have water out. And I have multiple sources, right? So one is like a tank where we walk by, we fill it up. It's actually 3 tanks. We have 3 tanks in the house, and one may go dry. You get busy, you miss it. So you cut. So out here, I've got here. Let me show you real quick. Let me show you what I'm talking about because you guys may not understand. Anybody want some water? You want some water? Who want water? Do you want water? He's probably not gonna get it because he's probably already had his water. But here's a little water fountain, and the only thing they have to do is step on it like this. Ay! Oh, sorry guys. I got splashed in the face. Do you want some water, buddy? I don't even think you want water. You want some water? No, you don't want water. Or maybe you do. Anyways, they always have access to water. Ah, you getting splashed in the face. Yeah, look at that slobber, y'all. Anyways, you get my point. So if this doesn't work, he can always go inside the house. See the doggy door? And there's like 3 tanks of water that they have access to. Hey, Missy, you trying to get some water too, baby? You trying to get some water? Yeah, you trying to get some water. You want to go inside? You want to go inside? No? You want to play? Yeah, so my dogs always have access to water, whether the tanks are full or not. They can always come, and they have the doggy door. They're free to come out here and get water whenever they need to. So that's why I was scared. She was trapped. They off leash now. They bite. Would have been a beep. She was off leash. Beautiful coat. Thank you so much. Girls got issues. Dopamine rush when doggy cuddles are involved. Yeah. So ABBS, definitely you. I mean, we get these dogs to love them too. I'm not suggesting that you don't ever love your dog. I'm only saying what I'm saying because a lot of people skip over those. They're so ready to cuddle with the big dog because the dog like this, you can actually give them a hug, and they love it. You know, my Rottweiler doesn't really like to be hugged too much. She actually growls when you hug her. But this guy, you know, he's like because a lot of times humans are trying to fulfill their own like, oh, he's a big boy. They're trying to fill their own like needs, you know what I mean? And they're kind of missing the point a little bit. Like, it's like, yes, it's fine that you have a companion and all, but this companion is only as good as the training is with them. So before we start jumping into the love and the kisses and stuff, let's make sure that we have a well-balanced dog first that understands boundaries and it understands what it should and shouldn't do. And then after that's been established, it is so much easier to love on them. Now you can do all the fun stuff that you've been desiring, as long as you don't, revert back. Because like I said, a Cane Corso will challenge you regardless. So you may have it good for a minute, but he or she may often revert back, and you have to remind them, look, nope, I love you and everything, but there's still boundaries. There's a time where you shouldn't pet your dog and love on your dog just to make sure that they're not demanding it. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, you walk into the house and your dogs are jumping on you. I mean, if this guy jumps on you, he can knock you down, right? He's so excited to see you, and you're like, if you in the human brains like interpret that as, oh, my dog just loves me so much, oh my god, and they're knocking you to the ground. Do you know what I mean? Do you follow what I'm saying? It's the priest of so I just gave him all his love. Now I'm going to give him a little bit of boundary. See that? See how easy it is? It's not hard to do this, guys. Set boundaries. He's good. He's away from me. Reward. You see what I'm saying? You love them, but not like to your own detriment. You know what I mean? The priest of Varancia says, is that a bear of or what? He teaches my dad that the dogs need boundaries. He tells me I'm too bossy with my dogs. Absolutely not, girl. Got issues. You are absolutely right. Your father needs to listen to you. You can never have too many boundaries. Now, I'm not saying you should abuse your dog, but you are spot on correct. As much boundaries as you can set with your dogs, the better. The better. I will never say that a person who sets strict boundaries with their dog is abusing them. With the exception of actual abuse, that's not what we're after, right? We're only after saying, here are the limits that you are allowed to interact with me or my family, and after that, you are in error. And with that, see, I'm still setting boundaries, even that, just a little. It's just I'm only just guarding my personal space, guys. That's the only thing I'm doing. I'm just guarding my personal space, and then I give him love once he's away from me. Okay. So yeah, this is Rain, the Cane Corso, The priest was asking me about the names. Nicole said, "Yep, meatball. What kind are they?" So Cane Corso and a Rottweiler. Casper's here. I missed you, man. I hadn't seen you in a while. Could you do something? I'm gonna upload the situation here. I'm Maryland State. Pack mentality. Man, I miss having a dog. I can't have one at the moment. Says Eduardo. Please shout me out to me. So Eduardo King, how are you? Comando said hi. Comando do Brazil. Yep, she's submissive. Will just move over. Only rarely will she try dominance. So maybe that's good. You have a dog that kind of already has that boundaries, or is one of those kind of dogs that doesn't need the constant reminder. You know, I talk a lot about the Cane Corso because this is kind of a special situation. A lot of dogs are like your dog, APBS, where they once you let them know the boundary set, you really you're pretty good. Move back, move. So dogs understand tone of your voice too. So deepening my voice and raising the volume also is a means of correcting. So girls with issues, right? Girls got issues. So I support you. You know, you got to play that part. Be that. Oh, and I'm in the military, so people say like that military training instructor. If you have to get into that mode, that MTI mode, hey, you got to do what you got to do. Yeah, little peeps. This guy's about 130-ish, and she's about 120-ish over there. Renee's retro says, yes, we've always gotten our dogs their own love seat couch that was theirs, and only to sit on it. Yep. So that's another way of doing it. Like Renee is saying, is if they like to sit down, give them their own space. He's back in his guarding position, guys, right next to me, guarding position. Yeah. So give them their own space and say, hey, this is yours, and where no other human's gonna ask for it. But let me tell you, even so, I will still, as a means of maintaining the alpha status, sometimes I will take away. I'll say, move, get up, get up, get up. You know what I'm saying? Like they're in a spot that they've claimed is yours. Just let them know, even though you have a spot, I gave it to you because I love you, but it's still me giving it to you. You know what I'm saying? So if I need you to get up, even though it's your spot, you need to listen. You know what I'm saying? So it's nice having their own spot, but if you're also avoiding the dominance aspect of it, then you still can be in a situation. Even though no one's going to sit on their spot, they need to understand that you give them what they have. It's yours that I'm giving to you. You know, it's like an alpha in the wild will give them scraps sometimes. Here's your scraps. But they're mine that I gave to you. You didn't have. They're not rightfully yours. I gave them to you. So, anyways, Casper says, yo, 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 Mr. Sard. Renee and orthopedic ones, great for joints. I'm missing the conversation. Casper, what's going on, Casper? Casper, hello, 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 yo, 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 man. What's up? No, I'm not ignoring you, Casper. I've been just talking, so you know how I get. Sometimes I get off tangent, and so I'll miss a lot of the comments, especially as they start coming in faster. They both weigh more than me. Sir, oh, my bad, sir. Any follow-up needed? Oh, wait. I'm okay, Casper. I see you, bro. I see you. Oh, short for Abby. Oh, I'm really behind because I asked you that question a long time ago, Abs. Duaman says they. So yeah, let me catch up real quick. I appreciate you, Abs, for saying that. Oh man, Casper, did you leave? I am really behind, y'all. Let me catch up because people are getting offended that I'm not paying attention to them. Paul B, what's up? Yes, we're doing fine. We're doing great. So the food budget is I don't even look anymore. I got to be honest with you, Brian. I don't even look because we spend so much money on these dogs for their food and stuff. It's just, you know, and we experimented with raw, which was kind of actually helpful because what we did was we'd get free scraps from the butcher, and you know, and that was actually fairly economical. The problem is with raw though is that you have to be very, very good at knowing the proportions that they of like muscle and cartilage, soft tissue, all this stuff. It has to be proportionate, right? And so if you don't get it right, you can leave your dog with a deficiency. And we weren't really trying to have my dogs deficient, but there's ways to do it fairly inexpensive. Chloe said, "Thanks, Abs. Happy birthday, Chloe." Oh, happy birthday, Chloe. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up with the more recent comments because people are getting a little bit like, say something to me. And Casper's one of the dudes that he's been around for a while, so he's a good dude from India, I believe. Why did you choose to be a Rottweiler and not a human? What? And not a human being? What are you talking about, Negan the Savior? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. He wants some meat, Darwin says. Well, I don't eat red meat, so the dog eat mine. Yeah, I'm trying to reduce my red meats too. I've been eating more plant-based just for my own health, but it's all good. So yeah, so if I miss your comment, please can you like just go ahead and put another comment so I can catch up, because I do like to keep people engaged. And if I get on a little long talk for a while, talk about something, because this stuff is dear to me, so I'm speaking from the heart, you know what I mean? I'm not just I'm not coming from a script or anything. I'm just saying, look, this is how I feel, this is how I want to keep my dogs healthy. It's good tips. You learn from me, you learn from the next guy, you learn from Caesar Milan, you learn from whoever you can, and you just make your house a home. These dogs, they're wonderful dogs, and they love to have a well-balanced home. They love boundaries. It may sound bad because you're like, man, I'm an American, I don't want to be told what to do. But these dogs, they actually need the boundary. They crave it. It makes their world better for them. Yeah, so you can definitely, Brian, definitely you can get it, but make sure that your daughter understands that there's a commitment there, because here's the thing, the Connie Corso can't just respect you. The Connie Corso has to respect everybody in the family, and that means that everybody has to do something. It can't be, come get this dog, Daddy. Come get this dog. It can't be that. It can't be that, because when you're not around, and if your dog doesn't respect the daughter, then that's a problem. So she's signing up. When you buy that dog for her, she's signing up for everything I've been talking about. She's signing up for that same thing, where she has to start setting boundaries. She has to start making sure that she has a system where she can reward or not reward whenever they are doing something bad, that they are undesirable behavior. So you know what I mean? So it's not one of those things where you can have the control and then everyone else in the family can relax. It's not like that. Unfortunately, everybody in the family has to participate with the training of this dog. I'm not saying that my daughter has to be out here doing drills and stuff like that. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that he can't see her as lower on the totem pole. He has to see her as an alpha as well. So if she doesn't have those skills, then that maybe we'll start with a smaller dog, develop those skills first, those leadership skills, and then work your way up to a big dog. It doesn't take much, y'all. But it does take effort. It does take effort. So that would be my best advice before you jump into a Cane Corso breed for protection, is that you gotta get the whole, you gotta get the whole picture with these guys. Great dogs, protective thing. I mean, this is why people buy them, for what's happening to me, right? He's protecting me. They're both protecting me. They got their eyes on both. They don't have their eyes on the back of the fence. Ain't nobody coming that way. Everybody's gonna come through that gate or that gate, and he's got his eyes on both. She's got one on one way and he's got one on the other. So a lot of people, they get these dogs for this very reason, but everybody in my family participates with their training. My wife participates with it. My daughter, same thing. My daughter is excellent. She's a young teen, but my daughter is absolutely excellent when it comes to interacting with both of these dogs. She has her own system of how she gives them rewards, and when they're doing something wrong, she has her system. So what she does is she has a little, like, for her hair, she uses these spray bottles, and so he doesn't like to be squirted with water. So when she tells him to move or get down and he wants to not do that, she's giving him a little squirt. He moves out of the way, and so she's established that dominance over him, with just something small as just a little bitty water sprayer. But the mindset is the thing. That's It's all about the mindset. It's how you do it. It's how you set that standard, how you set that precedent, how you set those boundaries. That's how you get the dog to recognize you as the alpha. So it's not just for me, it's big alpha papa daddy. It ain't just me. It's for, you know, it's for everybody in the family. You know, I'm not a necessarily huge guy. I mean, I'm a pretty good sized guy, you know what I'm saying? I'm not huge, but at the same time, it's all in the mind. It's in the mind. It's all in the mindset of the dogs. So, Brian, you have to, if I were you, I'd research some good breeders. So, I was lucky enough that my coworker has had Connie Corsos, and she found a breeder out of San Diego, California. And very passionate guy. He's really passionate about the breed, the genetics. Like, because a lot of people just do all these, we call them breeding meals, where they just want to get the dog to sell. But this guy was really, really, really interested in making sure that the breed stayed pure and they didn't have all these genetic abnormalities that were passed down. And so we had to drive all the way we're in Texas right now, Central Texas, but we drove all the way to California to get this guy. And so it takes a little research, but you can find them. You can find people that know what they're doing, and they're passionate about the breed and want to keep the standard healthy. So yeah, so definitely hit the internet. Definitely look up some people, get some reviews. Make sure you buy from the right people. Sometimes if the dog is super cheap, be very, very, very cautious. Be like, because these people, sometimes they're out just to make money, but that's not necessarily the right thing for you, your family, and for the dog. You know what I mean? These people don't care that they're breeding all kinds of genetic abnormalities and stuff like that. They're just trying to make that buck. So take your time, really do the research. But like I said, the main thing right now, though, is make sure y'all are mentally ready and prepared for a big dog like this. Unless you've already had, now I might be talking to somebody who's already had big dogs and already know exactly what I'm saying. No, I'm not trying to, belittle your knowledge of these dogs. I'm just trying to warn you, because I've seen so many people try to upgrade, and then they end up having to put the dog down, or the dog gets in trouble, not because it's the dog's fault. It's because the humans didn't create the right type of environment for the dog to be safe. So that's all I'm saying. You get my point. Hopefully you understand. Yeah, thanks Paul B for hanging out with us. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Jarrett Duvall, what's going on? From Charlotte's. What's the average cost? I mean, a couple $1,000s. I mean, I think I would be a little bit wary if you were getting like $1,000 for a Connie Corso. I'd be a little bit concerned. That's kind of cheap, $1,000 or less. I mean, unless you know them, like they're your friends or whatever, and they're, but just a random breeder, like, hey, I got some Connie Corsos for $1,000. These are really cheap, no, you need to really, really, really think about it, really do your research. But, if you were, $2,500, I'd be like, that's kind of what I would expect on the 25 and up, maybe even more than that, maybe 3,000-4,000. But all I'm trying to say is, if it's too cheap, be very, very cautious. That's all I'm saying. Save up. Make sure you done the research. Like I just talk about kind of the daily life, because I'm just sharing my life with my dogs through this YouTube channel, which is my primary focus. I do some of the funny stuff on my my shorts and all, but I just want to talk about what we deal with every day. But if I were you, if you're first time ever having a big breed, especially Connie Corso, really dig into the YouTube videos. Listen to Cesar Milan. There's I forgot what his name. Canine Cali is a good dude if you're just needed to figure out how to train your dog the right way. But there's like 2 other great breeders that have good YouTube stations that give you great information on what you need to do the research. Please, that's my wife and I both researched before we got any of these bigger breeds, and it really paid off. It pays off, just what's the word? Handsomely, it paid off, or overabundantly, it's paid off. Every research, everything you learn it just makes your life, the dog of your life, your sorry, your life's dog better. Everything that you know makes your dog's life better. Everything that you don't know can be a detriment to your dog. And I mean that with all seriousness because I've lost a dog before for something that I didn't know, something that I should have known. I lost the dog, and I'm telling you, you want to know what hurt feels like? Please don't do that. Don't get these dogs in ignorance. You're in for a world of hurt. My dogs do not have collars on them right now because I lost a dog from a collar accident. So I learned. Listen, when they're in their environment in the fenced backyard, no collars. Only when we go out we put collars on. I know my dogs they like to play rough. They get tangled up on their collars. Their collars get hung on something. I lost a dog. I lost a Rottweiler. So I preach, I preach to everybody. Listen, know what you're getting into. Do the research. He must has to go pee or poop or something. He's walking away from us. No, he's about 130. You can see. Look at how like lean he is in his hips. He's got to poop, I think. He's either exploring or he's got to poop. I'm thinking he's got to poop. I got to go cut that grass, y'all. Look at it. He's like knee deep in grass. Plus, I don't like animals and stuff. Oh, he just has to pee. Okay. Animals and stuff will be in the tall grass. So I gotta go. That's my next job. As soon as I get done with this live, I'm gonna do some yard work. A lot of this yard work that you see here is just so that these dogs can have a great place to play. Because all this out here is sod. We live in a very, very dry area in Central Texas, and so if you don't put sod down in irrigation, you have a lot of sticker burrs. So we spend a lot of time and effort to make sure that this whole entire backyard is a place where they can run and play and not get a bunch of stickers, because you don't know misery when your dog comes in with stickers all over them and they're all upset and they're barely walking and they're hopping on one leg or two legs. You know what I'm saying? I've had a dog, little Missy was hopping on two legs, y'all. One in the front left and on the back right. She was hopping on them two legs because stickers were all in her feet and her paws. So we had to go through. We had to spend the money, y'all. We had to put some topsoil. We had to get some sod, put irrigation. I mean, you don't have to, but I'm like, I love my dogs. You know what I mean? I want them to have the best life. They have short lives. Give them the best they can have. Wait, they are so cute. Thank you. How much is that Rottweiler? So, that's a good question. I don't know what the going rate is for Rottweilers these days. Definitely be cautious though, and do the same thing what I was saying. Look up the breeder, talk to the breeder, make sure that you're not just getting, not going for the cheap end, because sometimes these people will be putting out these products that are only about the money and not about the breed, and it's not healthy for the dogs. It's not healthy for you as the owner, because now you got all these medical expenses that you don't know what to do, and it's not cheap, y'all. Your dog has an issue, some genetic issue. You go get it checked out. Now you're paying multiple thousands of dollars in medical bills because you wanted to go cheap. You know what I mean? You wanted to get this fast because you thought you saw a Rottweiler. You thought it was cool looking and everything. So be careful. Just be careful out here. That's all I'm trying to say. Be careful. I know picking up poop in the tall grass is not fun. And I got to be honest with you. We have such a large area, backyard. Look, he's free now. Nope, no running. So I'm not allowing her to run right now. I know, baby. I know you want to play, but we can't do that. You can't play. No. Hey. Okay, so that's no. You're not allowed to play. So she's not allowed to play because she's had some an injury to her ACL. So she's still in recovery mode. So I'll have to manage how much she's allowed to do. And he hates it because he loves to play. And I hate to do it to him, but I have to until she gets fully back on her feet. I got to regulate that. Regulators. Backyard breeders ruin most dogs. That's right. Grizzlies fan. Sorry, true Grizzlies fan. Yeah, it's absolutely right. Woke up covered in barbecue sauce and cat's licking me again. But love the content, man. 3. Covered in barbecue sauce. Oh, man. Yeah, no, abs. It was rough. I really struggled with that so much. And, I'm really hard on myself, and I hated, I felt like I let my I did that to myself. You know what I'm saying? My dogs had the collars on, and she was out here playing. And at the time, and this is before we put on all the sod. You know, this is very sandy soil. So they were out here playing in the sand, and I happened to be at work at the time. My son was here, and you know he was a college kid, or whatever. You know, just hanging around the house. He's a big boy. Love you. And she loved to go for the neck. That's her go-to. When she plays, she wants to go for the neck. You know, she's not trying to kill the other dog, but that's just her thing. When they play, she bites the neck. So she grabbed hold of this collar, and they started twisting and twisting and twisting, and then she got stuck with the collar being twisted around. We had those pinch release collars, and it got impacted with sand. So we had multiple bad things happen all at the same time. The collar was impacted with sand. She was playing rough and got it twisted around her teeth. And it just so happened that my son didn't catch it in time. The neighbor was yelling from over here, you know, because he saw it, but he was just yelling for it. He couldn't do anything for it. My son, when he finally realized what was going on, he came out here and he didn't know how to take the collar off because it was impacted with sand, and we lost him. So he calls me from work, and I cried for I don't know how many months, y'all. That was one of the worst days of my life, man. And I was like, I had no idea. I thought dogs were supposed to have collars on them. I mean, it was, you know, when is anybody going to tell me that, you know, my dog was going to have that it happen to them, you know? But but the thing about it is, it's not about, hey, Stormy, baby, don't run. It's not about your dogs necessarily not can't wear a collar. It's more about knowing your pack dynamic. It's more about knowing that she has that, you know, that tendency to go for the neck. She has a tendency to bite and yank on the collars. So if you notice that behavior, maybe your dogs don't need to have the collars. You know, maybe your dogs are okay with collars, and it's, you know, they don't do that kind of behavior. Fine, don't worry about it. Have the collars. But for me, I should have known better, and I took that to heart. I was like, look, I that was rough, man. That was rough. Anyways, I'm gonna get off of that. I'm gonna get off of that because, whoo, telling you, Abs, you're absolutely right. It was hard on everybody in the family. Everybody. Yeah, true Grizzlies. I mean, that's a good concern. And you start running into politics when you start talking about what the government should or should not regulate, and you're gonna have a nice split down the middle. You want to make everybody mad on one side and everybody happy on the other side. Interject politics and government regulation, because depending on how you see it, you know, you may think that's a wonderful idea, or you may think, hey man, I don't want the government to tell me what to do. I can do my own research and blah blah blah, and that's great as long as you do it right. But if you don't, people are like, well, maybe we need to help you because you seem to not know how to do the research. You know what I mean? But you know, politics is just one of the things, man. It divides people on the daily. Yes, 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 Jeff. Born to basketball. Do you tell? Do you tell me? What did you say? I've been a long time. What? I'm sorry. Born to basketball. Can you repeat what you asked? What you asked for me? Did I miss something? I like a Kentucky because they hunt bears. Adopt a dog. We'll save a dog's life. Yes, Jeff is all about saving the life. That's awesome. True Grizzly said dog trainer for 10 years now. Backyard breeders run. Okay, so True Grizzly, you're actually a dog breeder or dog trainer. I'm sorry. Yes, that's exactly right. Because I think so. So True Grizzly, I think what happens is they see something and that they want, and they're not willing to work for it. Do you know what I mean? Like they see this big dog and they're like, oh man, that must be cool to walk this big old dog, to have something with everybody respects and everybody wants to see and pet and be whatever. But they're not realizing that what they're seeing is owners that have put in the work to make that possible. You know what I'm saying? you know, they socialize their dog to the point where they train their dog to the point where they can take them to restaurants, whatever. And I remember one guy, man. He was on the other side of town, and my wife and I went to breakfast, and we were eating outside, and he was sitting out there with his Cane Corso named Bear. Homeboy was like, and we were like taken aback. This is before we had gotten him, and he was like, "Bear, go over there and say hi." The dog gets up, walked towards us, just like he never moved. The guy never got up. He never got up. And then he said, "Bear, come back, sit down." The bear went right back and sat down. Y'all, I'm telling you, you would. I've never seen anything more beautiful than that. A beautiful dog with beautiful obedience skills. The trainer, you could tell that guy must have spent all kinds of time and effort to make sure that that dog was like that. So people want that, they want that situation, but they don't realize all the work that goes behind the scenes to make sure that that happens. So they start thinking that they can jump right to that, and then the dog frustrates the family because they're not like, we don't, the dogs don't come like that. You got to train that dog to be like that. You know what I mean? Oh, you're not a dog trainer. I'm sorry. You live in yeah. I live in Texas, Central Texas. Born to basketball. I'm in Texas. It's Eden. Oh, what's going on, Eden? You've came before, right? I think I remember that. I'm trying to remember. There's been like, there's thousands of people. But I try to remember people that come frequently. Like I miss Casper, y'all. I messed up with Casper. He came and I got sidetracked, and he was making all these comments, and I was like, man. So I missed it. And he's been a long time. He's a long time viewer too. He's been with us probably for the last year and a half or so, or a year. No, I haven't even been streaming that long, so probably less than a year. But he's been around for a while though. Yeah. But y'all, I'm not gonna give up on doing yard work today because it's such a beautiful day. It's usually extremely hot, and these dogs need to feel that plush cut grass on their feet, so on their footsies. So I'm gonna go fire that lawnmower, and I'm gonna get to town so I can make this yard look great again. Because right now it is looking rough. I've been having so many projects. I've been trying to do some gardening, y'all. This is not a garden a channel, but over there on the side, I've been doing a lot of fruit tree planting and above ground. Like I'm trying to do like like sustainable planting and stuff like that. So I've been doing a lot of that, and everything else in the yard I have kind of ignored. So I got to face the music, and I got to come back and start cleaning up everything. Satnam says hi. What's going on? I have lost your video live, but now I found it's been like a year. Yeah, okay. Well, welcome back though. Brad Pitt is stubborn and took months for one command. He still messes with me. Yeah, some dogs are like that. It is like that. You got to be patient, man. Got to be patient. Yeah, absolutely, man. True Grizzly, that was one of our desires. That's why we moved out here into the country, because we wanted a little bit more area for the dogs to be able to run around. But even then, though, it was like once we got here, we had to do a lot of extra work. Like I said, we had to put in the topsoil, we had to bring in the sod, we had to bring in the irrigation to keep the stuff alive because it don't rain enough around here. So we end up spending tons to keep this grass watered, and you know, it's wonderful. Look at that slobber from the Cane Corso. It's wonderful, but it takes work, and the payoff is this. The payoff is my dogs get to lay around when they've exercised themselves, and they don't have to worry about getting stickers all over them. There's usually not a lot of bugs in there because I do put down a few things to help out with the bugs. But it's just a wonderful environment for them, and we're happy to provide it for them. It makes, again, their lives are so short, y'all. Like I said, they live, these big dogs, their lifespan is about 10 years or so. So every day counts to them. Every day is like a whole week. So if they have a bad day, that's like you having a terrible week. A couple of days, that's like having a whole month of bad luck. So give them the best, best that you can, because their lives are short. But anyways, all All right, man. Y'all, thank y'all for hanging out with us. Super Doc. Iris says Super Doc. Jackpot. That's cool. I appreciate it, True Grizzly. Germany. Thank you for the sub. Thank you, Abs, for the conversation. I appreciate you for hanging out with us. We kind of come on we try to come every Sunday about 8:30 ish, Central Standard Time, and so we're here a lot. I got a few shorts I've been trying to post that I haven't got around to posting. And I'm sorry, I have had so many yard projects that doing YouTube videos has been kind of secondary. But I try my best to come on Sunday mornings just so that we can talk about the important stuff. Getting out the message so that people can start making sure that they do the right things by these big dogs. That's all I'm trying to do. But so come back, hang out with us some more if you want to, and check on the dogs. I always let you know. Try to be honest with whatever I'm dealing with, because you can be as safe as possible with these dogs, and there's always something that you have to deal with. So I always talk about those issues. But come back and when y'all can. I appreciate y'all for the love. Thank y'all for the 43 thumbs ups. That's amazing. We appreciate it all. Appreciate all the comments. And we'll see y'all in the next one. You say bye for him. This is say bye, Rain. Rain says bye. See, he's saying to blah, blah, bye. See y'all later. And then Storm, you want to say bye? Oh, you gonna give us some love first? Okay. All right. Okay, that's Storm's way of saying goodbye to everybody. All right, y'all. Y'all peace out. Have a nice day.